Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I am your host here, Chantel Francis. Here with my lovely co-host we have...
Michelle.
Hi, Michelle. How are you?
Hello. Good.
Good. Well, if this is your first time on Reality Realness, well, then welcome. We are all about reality television and any gossip that goes along with it. So today, we're talking about MTV's The Duel / The Challenge, episode 13 and 14. Let's just get right into it. So what did you think overall?
Yeah, it's getting down to it. It's interesting because in the old seasons, it was just like, okay, like the top 2 guys, top 2 girls are going to be in the final. So it's like, even though there's only 4 guys, 4 girls, it's just like, boom, eliminations. Yeah, these were 2 pretty dramatic episodes. Kind of sad, kind of some drama. It gives us context. Those people who wonder in the newer seasons why, like, Wes has such a bad reputation for like screwing people over and like why people like hate him so much.
Mm-hmm.
It stems back to seasons like this.
Well, okay, so
outsmarts the like popular kids, and they get screwed over, and so in future they all just gang against him.
Of course, I mean that's what you kind of have to do. But so, can you maybe help me break this down? So, Wes and Evan are kind of talking, and Wes is kind of insinuating for him to be picking CT if he is the one that's going into the duel, whatever. And like, you know, it makes sense that you want to try to get out somebody that's going to be harder to beat later. It doesn't really seem like that calculated of a move, but like at the end, we'll talk probably a little bit more about it. But then Evan's really mad and feeling like he's snaked by Wes. I didn't really think that Wes did anything wrong other than win the challenge. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I think definitely. He like the plan was whoever lost the challenge was going to take one for the team, I think, except for Wes said he was going to take Brad anyway. And at the end of the day, like it was Evan's decision what he did. So if he was feeling a type of way about it, he could have just picked Brad.
It's like, exactly. I didn't understand why Evan was so mad at the end of this episode. And I remember when I was watching it the first time, like in real time, that I was mad at Evan these episodes, you know, I was like, I'm mad at you. So Sam, hi Sam, which season is your favorite from the MTV challenge? I mean, I don't even know. I feel this one's a pretty good one. I don't remember them all very well though right now.
I would say my favorite season is probably Fresh Meat 2. That's when we first get Laurel and like Cara goes home first, and you get an introduction to a lot of interesting characters that season. And yeah, I really enjoy that season, but there's so many.
Yeah, I mean, I really like all the challenges. Differently than like we'll say now with like Big Brother or whatnot. Like I watch it because I love the game and the show, no matter what. But it's gotten like significantly worse every year, and I wouldn't say any of the last 10 seasons would be my favorite season. So with the challenge, I feel like they're all pretty good. I like the newer seasons a lot less. You know what I mean? Like I didn't love 35. I think you liked it more than I did, but like 30 was pretty fun. But
no, I haven't been as happy as I've been in the past seasons. But
you love it anyways, no matter what.
I still love it anyway. And I'm pretty excited about the next season coming up.
I mean,
from the spoilers I've been reading about the cast and about the different rules, I think it's going to be
spoilers you have. I mean, this is a challenge podcast. Let's hear them. This is
just in terms of the premise, it's going to be a pairs challenge, which we haven't had in a little bit, and but it's going to have the same theme as free agents, and I think it's going to be cool in that way. I'm interested to see how they partner up. Like I know what the partnerships are, which we've discussed before, but like I don't know how that comes about. So I'm curious about that. They brought the Red Skull twist back apparently. So I'm hoping that they've tweaked it a little bit, made it make more sense and be a little more dramatic. So I'm excited about that. And yeah, and I like the idea that apparently like when you're in an elimination, if it's a girl guy partnerships, but if you get eliminated and your partner doesn't, your partner gets to stay and partners with the other person. So when it comes down to elimination, it's still every man for themselves, which I really like. So you don't have to depend on your partner to win the elimination.
Sometimes they'll mix it up, and that they will have like sometimes couples would go home? You know what I mean? Like a paired challenge. You think that will ever happen, or is it always, do you think, going to be individual?
I think it's all going to be individual from what I've heard so far. But I mean, who knows? Maybe they'll keep changing it up, but I think it's cool in that way. I like ones where it's every man for themselves, but then like still like the element of having to work with certain teams and stuff. So I like that you kind of have both in there, and the cast is looking cool. Like I'm actually very interested in most of the rookies that are coming in, and it's, I think a season without Bananas and without Cara and without Polly and without a lot of those types of people, I think it's just going to be, I don't know, it's more of an even playing field. Like, let's see what goes down.
Maybe new people that are going to emerge as like the leaders, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
maybe Jesse will have personality. Who knows?
I don't think so. Unless he finds a girl, maybe he'll find
I think he will get into a showmance. That's definitely a prediction for sure.
I mean, I'm here for that because I think he's really cute. So, hi, Jaquan, how are you? So Wes wants Evan to battle CT, and I think that's kind of like a lofty expectation. But I guess what Evan was upset about was the fact that he convinced him to do that he convinced him that it was a good idea for his game to go against somebody that is potentially harder. And Evan's kind of being like, this guy, he like eats egg whites for breakfast, and he has some girl scratching his back, and he's realizing that CT might be hard to beat. I don't know why he picked
I think he just really got it into his own head, because we've seen Evan in other seasons and he's so confident, but he's also very concerned about the game and like the actual social aspects and the strategy. So I think that like he got to his head. Wes convinced him that he was like, you know what? If I have CT in the end, there's no way that I'll win 100%. But he's so confident he can beat Wes and Brad in the end in a final that he's like, I need to get him out now. And he wanted to win the challenge, but when he didn't win, it's like, well, okay, well, if I go against Brad, it's like, whatever, then I have to be against CT in the end. I might as well take him out. But then as soon as he made the decision, he's like, oh, shit.
Now I have to actually go again.
It's like, and it's like you can never forgive Wes. It's like, you made that decision, man. Like, you're your own person, and you got to weigh all the options. If I was him, I definitely would have picked Brad to go against.
Is he friends with Brad? Kind of, probably, right?
Kind of, like, kind of.
I would have picked Brad, I think.
For sure.
For preservation.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So Diem's like giving CT like a back massage, and they're just kind of talking about like being a fierce couple in the game. How do you seeing a little bit more of their relationship develop?
Yeah, there's so much in these 2 episodes for obvious reasons, and like, it's just so funny how it's such a common thing to the point that even TJ comments on it. Oh, like you have time with this person still, or this or that. Like it's just a known thing that they're just unapologetically together, and I love it so much.
Jaquan says, I think this is regarding the challenge next season. So yeah, I've seen a little bit of the results on Instagram leaks, LOL. I like the way this challenge is coming along. Yeah, I'm excited to see 36, especially if like they do all the things that you were kind of hoping that they do, like tweak the Red Skull twist, like, I am excited. Like I always look forward to the challenge. And yeah, I'm actually even more happy that all of these people that Sam is talking about are not going to be there necessarily. So did you know why Johnny Bananas, Tony, Cara Maria, Polly, Sarah Rice, Jordan, Nani, Nicole Ramos will not do this season of the challenge?
Sorry, I was going to say Nani is on this season, actually.
Okay.
Said no initially, and then things have changed, and she is on this season. But the rest of them are not.
So Bananas, he just won. He's had some problematic things that he's said in the past. So I think that he might be taking his cue from Jordan, who's decided to leave the challenge for a little bit. I think it's just because, MTV not really promoting anybody that's had any problematic language to castmates in the past. And so I think that might be one of the reasons why that is why Jordan is stepping away from the game for a little bit. Nicole Ramos, she's not very good. I don't know. She's kind of toxic when she goes on these shows. I don't think she really enjoys it. Not as much as Nani does anyway. So I don't know. What do you think about Nicole? Why?
Yeah, I don't think Nicole, I think like she's not
it.
ready. She's not fit enough to do it. And then Sarah Rice like is never going to come back. She has said that before.
Like her last hurrah, like that PTSD for sure as to like that experience. That's like, I mean, I know that we've kind of all forgiven Johnny Bananas, but like, I don't think she has. Like, I think that it's a pretty snaky move to run a final with somebody and win and then take the money. Like, I didn't like that Ashley did it. I don't like that he did it either.
But like also Ashley had way more reason than Bananas did. Like Sarah was a great partner the whole season and worked really hard to gain the trust back after she like screwed him over, which wasn't even like the same level of screwing over. Whereas Hunter bashed Ashley constantly. So I just, this one was way more painful for me to witness. Cara, Maria, and Polly, like, I don't care. They don't need to ever come back. I'm sure they will. But I heard that like Polly wasn't able to come back. So then Cara was like, I'm not doing it if he's not doing it. So I don't know. I mean,
like the last season, it was rumored that he didn't pass the psych test.
Yeah.
And so that's why he didn't come back that time. I wouldn't be surprised if that is maybe the same reason or whatever reason that they're giving them. I just don't find them enjoyable. It's just the level of toxicity that I think that they bring is just, I think it's a little bit off brand now for MTV. I think that they're not trying to be super toxic anymore because like within that toxicity, people are just kind of nasty and sometimes problematic things come out of people's mouths. And so I think that they're maybe they're just like holding back on those types of like fights and blow ups and stuff. Ooh. So they have a challenge and it's for a 2006 BMW motorcycle. Props to Tanya. And it's called Sunken Treasure is the challenge. So what do you think of this challenge in general?
It seemed really hard. I mean, for me, anything with like holding your breath for a long time underwater while also trying to like do a lock, like it just seemed really difficult across the board. And I never would have done it. That's what I felt. No.
I mean, I would try because you're wearing a mask. So at least like, you should be able to see and your nose is covered. So like, I think that would just be holding your breath. I would rather if it was in a pool. or something, but like it seemed really hard. And I was really, I couldn't remember this. I remember the challenge, but I couldn't remember how it went. And Evan had a lot more trouble than I was ever expecting him to have in this challenge. Like I thought he was a good swimmer.
He is a good swimmer. He's a really good swimmer. He's pretty close to on par with Wes, but I guess breath support and just the pressure of it. And like, I think that, yeah, he let it get to him a little bit.
Yeah, so he DQs. Next step is CT and DUEL?
I think so.
So CT and DUEL went. No, they didn't. They went first. Sorry, CT and
DUEL went first,
and they ended up DQing because she couldn't see the numbers, and then CT goes down to go and see if he can see the numbers, but they weren't both supposed to go and do any part of the same part of a challenge, and so they DQ'd by default because they didn't actually do it properly. You would hope that they would just let them. Well, they probably would have changed their mind if they saw how poorly the challenge went, and be like, hey, you could still try. Like, just open those chests because it seems quite difficult for the competition. Yeah. Like, you do this side and I'll do this side. That's pretty hard though.
Yeah.
Open 3 locks. They're like these little dinky small little locks. Yeah. I was like, ooh, that's kind of hard. So they DQ'd. Then Evan and wait, who's next? Brad and Jody go, or Brad and
Evan and Jody, and then Brad and
Anisa. I didn't write. Why didn't I write down her name? I was like, what's happening? So Brad and Anisa, they do it pretty well. They get pretty close, and they were literally like 5 seconds off from them being able to, like, I wish that they could do it from when they open the lock because it actually took like 5 seconds for the buoy to get to the top of the water.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of bullshit, but
why do you think?
Well, just like they opened the chest before the thing went.
So that though, maybe they didn't. Like maybe they just made the time. Yeah. Okay? But I do agree with you though that like let them win that one. Like, they got it open. It shouldn't have been like you only have 15 minutes. It should just be like, can you get it done? And if you go, it will stop at 15 minutes if you haven't got it at all. But like, I don't know, if 15:05, like, I don't know. I think that they should have let them have it.
Agreed.
Hi, Laundry. How are you? Laundry Day is cute. I think that's a reference to Christmas for some reason. I could be wrong, but like, I don't know. It's funny. And then finally, Wes and Svetlana go. Your girl and your boy paired up together. They go down. She was pretty confident in the swimming portion. I would think that she was the most confident in the girls when how she was swimming down there and like kind of pushing off against the wall and going back. Like, I thought that she did really, really well. And so did Wes in the end. And they actually were the only couple that were able to finish the challenge.
And they finished it like right at the cutoff.
So I wonder who's play testing these challenges, because like, are they just like?
I bet you they didn't fully test them. Like some of the challenges back in this time period, I feel like they're like, yeah, this will be fine. Like, because some of it just like doesn't work well. Like, you know, which I kind of love about it.
I do love about it. I love it too, but like, I wish I gave them 20 minutes. I like to see people complete things. I don't like to see people DQ. I'd rather see, you know, there's a difference of 2 minutes or a difference of 30 seconds or whatever. Like, I like to see those stats as opposed to DQing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair.
That's the only thing that I care about. So I'm wondering if they play tested it. But if you're saying that they didn't, that also actually makes sense.
I mean, I don't know for sure. I'm just
that could make sense though.
Speculating, yeah.
And so Svetlana wins that motorcycle. Do you think she got her license? And like,
I mean, maybe, or like, I would just sell it. Like,
sell it. How much did it cost?
I mean, in 2006, who knows?
10 grand.
I think it'd be more. Oh, I honestly, I have no reference for how much a motorcycle costs anyway.
You hate them?
I have no reference of like how much they would cost.
Have you ever been on a motorcycle?
No.
It's kind of scary.
Yeah, I'm not interested really.
Do you have your license?
No.
Have you ever driven a car?
Yes, like in the parking lot.
You did not like it?
No. I've never wanted to drive.
What about like funny bikes or like at ATVs on like vacation?
Nope.
Interesting. Rollerblades?
I've tried rollerblades as a kid, but also not good.
You just don't like, wheels?
No, I can bike, like regular bike.
Funny. I mean, I've loved driving. I haven't driven in a long time, but like I got my license when I was like 17, and like my mom drove standard, so I knew how to drive standard when I was as a kid. And that's the only reason why I would ever want to learn a motorcycle, because like the concept of shifting gears, I understand. And so like, I feel like I would be able to do it. And I've played them on like going to like rec rooms, you know what I mean? But like,
yes.
Other than that, I've never driven my own motorcycle, but I've driven an ATV, and that's actually also really fun. We were in Dominican Republic, and like we're just like going through like the mud and stuff like that. So it was actually pretty fun. So
which I wouldn't be so bad if there's not like other people around, but like
it's trail people.
Yeah. I just don't trust other drivers, especially in the city.
In the city, yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I was like picturing myself driving a motorcycle in the city, and I was like, ugh. And then I just saw some TV show like Botched or something, and like this woman, she got into a motorcycle accident, and her entire face was like demolished, and then she was just getting like plastic surgery to try to go back to looking how she looked before. And I was like, that's just like every reason why I wouldn't want to ride a motorcycle, is because I would not want to get into an accident, and they're very highly probable. Mm-hmm. So this was Wes's first win. I feel like I still think of him as a winner, and I never think of it as his like first. I mean, I'm assuming in this game.
Is this actually his first win?
I think it's a game in the duel.
Oh.
I don't think it's his first. Like, he's been on other seasons, right?
Yeah. So
I would assume he's won other seasons, but if you guys in the chat have any idea? But he did say this is my first win. I'm assuming he was talking about in the duel.
Okay. Yeah, no, I just didn't even know if in the duel. I don't remember whether he's won another one or not. But
I mean, I believe him with that. But I guess like no, he hasn't, because like Evan's won a lot, Jody's obviously won a lot, CT's won a lot.
Yeah, you're right.
I can't really think of Brad.
Easy one or two. Yeah, you're right. He hasn't. Well,
Yeah,
good
he
for him.
started the chain.
Yeah. It's funny because like him and Svetlana, like they've been at the bottom of the barrel for so long. And it's really testament to how good he is at this type of game. Like this is him at his prime. He's able to, you know, win his way to the end and like get himself there and not have to be in eliminations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he's good. Like, it's just what it is. He's good. What I really love though is TJ's like, it's your day-to-day, Spitz. Like, he's nicknaming her. It's so cute. Like, I wonder if they're like secretly dating at that time or something like that.
I wish. No, she's a boyfriend at this time.
You did? I don't
remember the scene where she's like calling her boyfriend, being like, "I just want to go home," like blah blah blah.
Yeah. Who's her boyfriend she's talking to? I thought she was talking to like her mom or something, like her sister. I don't know. So in the end, with the chain, Anisa ends up saving CT. So Evan is going to be going into the duel, and so this is when he was having his little bit of a deliberation as if he wants to go against CT now or go against CT later. And so he chooses CT now, and Diem was really actually shocked and like pissed off that he did this. And they're going to be doing Ascender. So what do you think about the Ascender being the matchup between the two of them? Like,
well, Ascender, like Evan shouldn't have been upset at all because you don't have to go one-on-one in a pool wrestle. It's not betting who can lift more. It's literally like every man for themselves. All you got to do is do your thing and do it faster and not pay attention to what the other person's doing. So I really don't think he should have been very upset. I think he should have been happy to get Ascender. Ascender's the best thing to get against someone who's physically larger than you because it's just kind of like about puzzle ability and climbing ability.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Ascender also is one I feel like you can control your fate the most in. The pole wrestling, yeah, it's a good competition or whatever, but like if you just like, fall on your arm the wrong way and lose your grip, like you could lose. Like it's just like it's very risky, I would say.
Yeah.
I don't really love that one.
Me either.
Just because it's kind of like the other person just doesn't have to necessarily do anything. I know that's part of the strategy is like get them to fail. But I just wish that maybe Anisa also had to lift something too. Like, you know what I mean? Like to prove to win it or something to tweak it in a way that like the other person is not just staring and watching someone lose. It's kind of like in Big Brother, a couple of the competitions where Christmas won because other people lost. They tried and lost.
Exactly.
I don't know. It doesn't really hold for me.
I agree.
Fix that. I remember hating the I Can challenge because it was a flop all the way around. Like, remember somebody in the beginning was telling us that though they didn't have enough watermelons, and so like they ran out of watermelons, and they didn't have enough like whatever bags or whatever it was, and like they just go on running out of things. It's not a well thought out, I Can challenge at the end because it just seems like a flop every time.
Exactly.
I wish that they told them what the pound. Oh, we'll talk about it tomorrow. Or we'll talk about it in 1 second. So, CT and Diem have a little moment talking about it's just going to be me and him, me and you. And I love how CT is so affirming. Like, whenever women usually get into a relationship, they just want the guys to like say that they like them and like show it openly without people pulling any teeth. It just like, he's just so open with his like for her that it's so heartwarming. It
is so heartwarming. I agree.
Especially because he has that like thick Boston accent still, and like he's just so like rough around the edges with the good girl, and it's just so Hollywood love story. And I don't know. I think he even said wicked smart. Like he's so cute. Just adorable. Okay, so what did you think about Evan having the puzzle on his arm?
I laughed because, like, first of all, that's not going to help you because you don't necessarily remember what all the pieces is unless you've done it before. And it's classic him and classic Bananas and classic Kenny. I feel like they're always trying to get a guarantee. Like a little sneaky guarantee. Like Bananas to this day still does that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just like those little things that they can get away with to ensure that they make it through. And it's like, CT's not even paying attention. Like, I love that moment where CT's just like flirting with Diem. He's like, oh, she looks so great. Like right before they do the elimination. And it's like, he's not even concerned about it. And that's what you need. You need to clear your mind.
Mm-hmm. I was just kind of like, to be in that moment, I was like, did I like Evan after this moment? Because I just thought it was just so low that I really didn't like it for sportsmanship. I didn't like it for people believing in themselves. Like, I want you to believe that you could do the puzzle without writing it on your arm, you know? Like, I don't know. I lost a little bit of respect for Evan, and I'm wondering if that's when it happened or if I still loved him after. Like, I don't know what happened for me.
Yeah, I don't remember either. But he was only my favorite usually in the earlier seasons, and at this point is when I obviously started loving Wes more. So NCT. So
me too. And maybe I liked Kenny more. Like, I don't remember what my history is with loving these young boys. So they do it, and yeah, obviously he's flirting with Diem. Yes, I love that. And CTA ends up winning the actual ascender in the end. He does the puzzle faster. We know now that CT's pretty good at puzzles, and I guess Evan had to learn the hard way that CT's good at puzzles. So. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty much the end of the episode. He says that Diem gives him strength. You know, CT. I want to be in a relationship like that. Like maybe not later on.
But then it turns toxic like so quickly. So
should we watch just their arc? Are they in the season 14?
No. Well, what's the season after DUEL? I'd have to look at the order, but the next time they're even together is the Ruins, and that's when he fucks Siobhan and then gets kicked out for punching someone. That's the one where they're together and you find out that she said, oh, maybe in 5 years, and his brothers passed away and all of that stuff. That was that point. After this season, they're not on a season together until the Ruins. And then the Ruins is where, like, yeah, he leaves early and then she becomes the leader of her team. She's on the team of, like, non-champs. And she, like, takes one for the team and, like, goes in a lot and then ends up getting eliminated, like, pretty quickly on, I think.
Okay. And then they come back again for, I just remember them running in wedding dresses.
That's Battle of the Exes. They were in Battle of the Exes 1 and 2 together. The first one was the wedding dresses where they got second place. And then 2 was when she ends up having to leave.
Oh my God. That was like the most devastating thing ever. I remember that. It seems pretty recent, actually. How long ago was that? Do you remember?
Well, it was the year of her death. So it was about maybe 6 years ago.
It's so interesting, like that whole arc of it all, you know, like it just was, especially like, you know, CT is still kind of like, you know, a little rough around the edges, you know, but like the fact that like he still loved her so much and was sitting at her bedside, like while she was going through that in the end, like I think was he there when she actually let go?
Yeah.
Like actually in the room?
Because I don't know for sure, but there's that whole picture of him like sleeping beside her when she's in the hospital bed. Yeah, it's really sad. It's really awful. Also, there's all these rumors going around right now that him and his wife have broken up and that he's gone on the challenge single. But then like she kind of addressed it in an Instagram live and was sort of just like all these things people are saying, like, you have no idea what we're talking about kind of vibe. But then like the rumor is that he's come into the house like not wearing his ring and is saying like all these things. So I don't know what's true. I'm a little scared for that.
I watched their wedding special and I want him to be happy. I know they have a child together, but I don't know if she's the best person for him. You know what I mean? Like, before they got toxic, what I liked about him and Diem together was that she was a little bit more of like a sane, calming force around him for the most part. And because he pops off, he does things that are a little bit irrational. He kind of leads with a protection. I'm ready to fight attitude. And he still has that within him. And so with the woman that he got married to, she's also a firecracker and like, you know, never backs down and like bark at you, you know what I mean? And so I think that it's too much of that energy that like if he becomes a calming force in the relationship, being like, oh honey, it's okay, like my challenge friends are okay, like he's the one always calming her down. Like I just don't think that dynamic is really useful. And she seems to criticize him a lot. You know what I mean? Like about like his challenge life. Like, yeah, maybe you don't like his challenge friends or whatnot, but like that's like what's giving you the house that you live in. Like that's, I don't know, it's his job. You don't like his work friends, you know?
Yeah. It's tough. Yeah, I don't know either. I don't think that they're like soulmates or anything, obviously, but the idea of him where he's at in his life right now, coming into a challenge, the potential of him like doing something stupid, the age he's at with like the younger people who are on the show, like I just don't want to see that. I'm fine with him not, like if it's not supposed to be with her, okay, cool. But I don't want him coming in being some like, oh, now I'm going to fuck the grossest option, which is what he did before when he was still not over Diem. It's, you know, like I just.
The grossest option then?
Sorry?
Who do you think would be the grossest option then?
Out of this group, I don't know. I'm just saying like in the past with Siobhan and then with Anastasia and all that stuff. Like, I just think that like, I just don't think it's going to be a good look on him at this point in his life. It never was before, but especially now, I think it'll look really bad. So I hope he's still like, he's become a much more chill human. So hopefully, even if he is like single, he's just like focusing on him and is like trying to win and is having a fun time.
Not going to find his Brittany.
Brittany?
Remember Brad and Brittany?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Like nothing like, you know, I mean, I hope he stays like, I don't know.
I can't remember who's playing, so I need to see the whole list, but I wouldn't mind seeing him like have a showmance, like, you know, as long as it's not a toxic showmance, but like maybe he like just needs somebody to be kind to him and love him a little bit.
Yeah, but I just think it's going to look sad at this point. Like he's going to be the oldest one there. He's done 1 million challenges and these people are just there for this reality fame. The only options that would actually be like healthy at this point are people like, sorry?
Natalie from Survivor?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe something like that.
What if that was a thing?
Obviously, I would stand behind that.
That would be.
But I don't see that happening, but I would like literally die and go to heaven if that happened. But again, she's also a fierce force. I don't know if it would be a good combination, but either way, we'll see. I just don't want him to embarrass himself. That's all. I just want him to be like focus on the goal and just like.
Well, he won a couple seasons ago now, so
yeah,
I think he could do another win. I think that makes sense why he's coming back then now too, is if he's having problems in his relationship, because like he just made $250,000. Like that's good enough to last you for like 5 years, most people's salary. You know what I mean? So, yeah, the fact that he's coming back would say that maybe they're having some problems in there because she doesn't like him doing the challenge. So, you know, he just made $250,000 and he's going back and he knows his wife doesn't like it. I guess I can. Where'd you hear that news on Challenge T?
Yeah, one of the challenge pages. Yeah.
So episode 14 happens and we have more of CT and Diem. They're practicing the pole wrestling. It's so like human beings are so funny. They're just so horny for each other that like they have to like be practicing pole wrestling, but they just want to roll around on top of each other. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's so cute.
It is cute. And I love how CT is like saying for her to get out of her head, like, because she definitely talks herself into, oh, I can't do it. And so, you know, I always thought later on that Diem was a little bit more, she's like, I can do this. Like she was more of that for us, but I didn't realize how much beforehand that CT kind of gave her the strength to be this, like, I can do anything. I'm a fierce competitor. So I really liked seeing that evolution as well.
Same
Z's. So Anisa was saying that she wants to win the right way to Wes. I didn't understand what that meant.
At the beginning, I think she's just like, she doesn't want to
like pull in Svetlana because she thinks she could beat her.
Yeah, I guess that's what she meant. I think she just like, she wants to take out Jody. She wants to like take out a big competitor, and like she thinks that Diem deserves to be there and that Svetlana deserves to be there.
I think Jodie's face is so pretty. I think she's like really, like she looks like a model to me. Have you seen what she's been doing after? Because I was like, I was staring at her face and I was like, wow, like she's probably not wearing a stitch of makeup, and like I think she's just so gorgeous, like movie star.
Yeah, she's really not the like it's so funny because she consistently does so well, but like I just don't care about her.
Is that why she's not like a famous model? Is because people just don't actually care about her? Like,
yeah, I guess. I don't know, but she is very gorgeous and she's really good at the challenges and she's really strong, and yeah, she definitely deserves to be in the position she's in. Like she keeps winning, so like
yeah, she's just sliding by and people are just like, ugh, like why is she there? You know, she's holding her weight and she's like winning competitions that people are not even expecting her to do well, and she's not even expecting herself to do well in. So I think she's just like good, overall good. So was that what it was called, Around the Block?
Yeah, they had to like climb with the flags or whatever.
Like, that doesn't really make sense to what it is.
It was a weird title, I thought.
Well, I wrote it down and I have like little stars around it, like how I write like my titles, and I was like, that's what it was called. I was like, okay. So it's for a digital projector. Loves that.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was like I guess the guys had one less player, so there's one person that was going to get to go twice, and so CT was the winner of the previous challenge, and so he chose to go first and last, and so he will have the option to be able to win the projector. And then also, wait, is that all they win? And
no, he made it so he didn't have to do the first heat. He just had to do it the final heat. He automatically made it to the final.
They did both. I thought he has to do. Okay, I guess
he didn't. It was Wes and Brad.
Okay, so anyways, he does the last one. Obviously, he would choose that. I don't know why he got the option.
Yeah.
And so they had to climb up this thing and grab flags, and they had to grab the middle flag. That's 3.5 points. And some people figured out that you didn't actually really need to grab the last three flags, especially CT, because like you would have more than the other person if they grabbed all the flags if you just went for the 3.5 pointer in the middle. So I forgot how this one went down, but in the first heat, okay, so how did it go? The first heat, Diem goes and she gets, is that right?
No,
just kidding. Just kidding. So Jodie goes first with Svetlana, but Svetlana dropped most of her flags, and Jodie ends up winning by having more flags, but she loses her grip and falls near the end. So that happened first. And then put Brad beats Wes. So it went boy, girl, boy, girl. I
Yep.
said this yesterday. Like, I don't even remember how this went down. So Brad beats Wes. I didn't write their times or their flags down. Next is Diem and Anisa. So Diem got 19.5. Anisa got 15. Then it was CT who got 15.5, I guess, using his strategy, even though he dropped a couple of flags. And then Jodie ended up beating Diem in the end. And CT was kind of like, he didn't yell at her, but he was like wanting her to realize, just like, go, you don't need those last 3 flags, just go for the one in the middle. But she didn't get that memo, unfortunately. So after the chain, Anisa's at the end and she chooses Diem. So now what was controversial is that when Diem and Anisa were originally up there doing their heat, Anisa says to Diem that she's not going to pick her for the duel because she wanted to pick
Jodie.
So what do you think about after that when Anisa picks Diem and Diem kind of gets upset about it?
Well, like at first I was kind of like, I agree with what Svetlana says later, which is like, why are you upset that you have to go into the duel once? Like Anisa and Svetlana have had to go in so many times. It's pretty rude. But at the same time, like Anisa didn't, like there was no reason for Anisa to say, I'm not going to put you in, because she was saying that because she assumed Diem was going to win anyway and wanted her to win. But it's like, if she's going to win, you don't have the choice to pick her anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So you already knew at that point that Svetlana wasn't in the final heat because they went after. So she already knows that like it's one of the two of them. So for her to say, oh, I'm not going to vote, like she shouldn't have said that because she immediately went back on it. So I do agree with Diem, like being like, why would you say that? Like, yeah, Anisa just kind of fucked up. And she does acknowledge that after. She's like, yeah, like I made a mistake. I shouldn't have said that. Like, whatever, you know? And I think that GM was a little too dramatic with it. Like, everyone has to go in. Anisa's had to go in multiple times. Like, she's not trying to fuck you over. So she should have just gotten over it. But I just thought it was like bad wording on Anisa's part. She should have just been like, hey, girl, you're probably going to win. Like, I want you to win because I don't want to have to go against you. I'd much rather go against Jody. But instead of making it seem like, oh, yeah, I'll pick Svetlana, I'll go against my best friend instead of you like,
What
Jody wasn't going to do that.
To me is that, okay, first off, like you said, she thought that Diem was going to win. And so it's kind of like she overplayed her hand, I think. I think she was like, wanted to make it look like she was going to be loyal to Diem, but then she never had to prove her loyalty. You know what I mean? And so I think that she jumped the gun and said too much and didn't actually, well, not that she didn't have intentions of backing it up, but the fact that she was never going to need to back it up because Diem was going to win, she's going to say like, oh yeah, I was going to pull in Jody, like 100%. And, or like when Diem wins, like, well, I'm pulling in Jody. I would never pull in you.
Exactly.
And so the fact that she lost, she had to put up her shut up. And then she's like, I hated how she like was like to Diem, like, and I was just like,
yeah, I didn't like that.
So annoyed. I was like, I get it. Like, you don't want to go against your friend. Like, I totally get it. I wouldn't have wanted to go either. If I'd said that to Diem myself, I would have gone back on my word as well. But the whole chain of it made me actually pissed with Anisa. I was like, get out of here. Like, don't bother saying something that you can't back up just for clout. Like, maybe later clout, just in case she wins it. Like, it was just kind of smarmy.
I agree.
Didn't like it. So they're playing I Can, our least favorite game here in this duel.
Yeah.
And so Diem was thinking that each of these, was it bags of coffee beans?
Yeah.
Was going to be weighing about half a pound, I think is what she thought it was. And
Diem?
Pardon?
Diem thought that.
Yeah, Diem.
Yeah.
And Anisa was thinking that it was about three pounds per bag. What did you kind of guess to me? Like, what would you have thought? Maybe that
I would have thought 3 to 5 pounds, probably.
Yeah. Just giving it a 5 pound and like make them take him sooner. You know what I mean? I don't think I would have tried that one because like you can't fully tell what the weight of those are. Like, so Diem.
It was just so frustrating because there were so many opportunities for Diem to just say, you do it to Anisa. And she should have just said, yeah, do it. Because then she was just so afraid of losing and thought Anisa could lift all of it. But it's like, girl, like, you should have, like, once it got over 100, she should have been like, do it to Anisa. And then, like, Anisa could have chosen to, if Anisa felt so guilty, maybe she can't lift it, or she does lift it, and, like, there's something you could do.
At 101, I forgot how this went, and I was like, just make her lift it now. The 101, I don't know who said 101, but at that moment. But when GM jumped to 150, I was like, oh my God, she goes home. That's going to be too heavy no matter what. Even if it's 2 pounds, that's like a lot. 300 pounds to lift like that? I don't know. Could you do 300 pounds? Like,
There's no way, not like that.
Like, it's just such even an awkward position too to be lifting things up. Like, I don't know, just strain your back. Like, ugh. Yeah, I was really upset, and like how hard she was trying to lift it was like she probably gave herself a hernia. I'm not even being funny here. Like, it looked very uncomfortable and painful, and
it was so sad. It was
so sad. And so at the end, you know, I was also irritated with Anisa, like, just like hugging her and trying to like,
yeah, that whole thing of like, oh, she doesn't even want to take my apology. It's like, you can't decide when someone else is ready to accept your apology. And that's so presumptuous of you to be like, oh, now you have to forgive me. Like, you have to take this apology. It's like, I need a time and I only have 20 minutes. I'm going to spend it with like these people, like CT or whatever, for this moment. And I can get past it, but like not right now. Like, you can't force your apology on somebody. I hate when people do that.
Do you know who else does that? Christmas.
Exactly.
This is like, so, like, why are you still mad at me? Like, I just put you up on the block and like voted out your friend. Like, why are you still mad at me? Like,
yeah, but then she won't shut up about the fact that, oh, how dare she put me on Slaw? Like, give me a break. Give me a break with that. Yeah, exactly. I hate that behavior. It's just like, she's allowed to decide when she's not going to be mad anymore. And like, it doesn't matter if your intentions are good, like accept what she's giving right now. And she doesn't want this, like give her space.
100%. And it's kind of like, relating it back to Big Brother, the whole people being mad that people would be bitter jurors. It's like, just because you might vote like for the best winner, even if someone completely snaked you and did you wrong in the game, but it is a social strategy game. And if someone's feeling slighted by something that you did, and their only retaliation is to get you back with a vote, I mean, it's all fair game then. Who's being bitter that you played your game so poorly that you weren't able to get my vote? So
exactly. And if you screw someone over hard, like how are you going to fix that situation? That's your jury management. How are you going to explain in your speech or your questions like, yeah, I screwed you over and I apologize. And here's like, if you're able to justify it in a way that the other person gets, maybe you'll get their vote. But that's the game that you play by playing that way and making those decisions and making those promises that you can't keep.
Exactly. Like, I'm sorry, like it's not the type of game that I appreciate or enjoy. So if you snake me, I'm probably not going to vote for you unless you're sitting beside someone that I dislike more or has wronged me more. And so like, I'm even thinking about like Big Brother right now. Like, I don't see how Nicole could get anybody's vote so far. Like, she's like really like, ooh.
Yeah, I don't know what she thinks she's doing. Like all her meetings with Cody, it's like she just keeps like he has all the control. All the people he wants gone are leaving, and she's having to backstab all of her people while pretending so hard to be her fake nice self and then crying her way through it and thinks it's going to be okay. And like, Queen, it ain't going to be okay. Like you might win if you're against Christmas in the end because Christmas is the worst, but also like I don't even know what these people in the house would say. Like honestly, they're all the worst right now. Sorry, that's just a little Big Brother tangent. I hate everybody that's left. I hate them all. Mm-hmm. I don't care about any of them. I don't want any of them to win. I'm going to be upset no matter what. Yes, there's worse and better for sure within that, but I hate them all.
I hear you. I know I'm going to be on Robin's podcast tonight for the Legacy watch, and so I'm just like going to have to talk about these people for like 2.5 hours. I'm just like, God, these people suck. They suck. But okay, so anybody in the chat, if anybody's still hanging out with us, do you have any questions maybe about the challenge? Also, if you could answer for me, if you are fans at all of Shadowhunters or Arrow, the TV series, I'm just kind of getting some ideas about a little gift I want to offer my subscribers here when we get to 1,000 subscribers. So let me know about that. And if you have any other questions, do you have anything else to share gossip-wise, Michelle?
Not much. Yeah, well, the challenge, I mean, I don't want to give away any like actual spoilers of the game. I haven't been reading too many of them now because I don't want to give it away for myself. But like I've seen the format and all that stuff and I'm excited. As I said, I'm scared about the CT situation, but we'll see. And yeah, I'm excited for a fresh season. I really do want someone who has never won to win. I'm kind of in that mood. And yeah, I have my faves and I want them to do well.
Like, a win, right?
There's a lot of people in there, like Leroy and Nani and Cam and Kyle. And I mean, not that I love them all, but there's a lot of people in there that I'm like, ooh, like maybe it'll be their time. And I think that'll be satisfying to watch. So I'm just going to
be emotional over somebody winning.
Sorry?
I want to get emotional over somebody winning because they did so badly and they've been trying for so long. And it's like, finally they get that W.
Yeah.
That'll be very satisfying. I mean, I enjoyed Jenny and Johnny winning last season. Spoiler alert, sorry. But like, we knew it from the beginning. Like I drafted them both on my team. Like you knew that they were going to do well, you know? And so I would like to be surprised by somebody winning just like you. That'd be awesome. Just like, so I can have that moment with them. Like that's what the beginning of these challenges were. They were so good is because everybody seemed to have a shot. They had a chance, even if they weren't the most physically fit, like they still had a shot. P.S. though, did you watch the preview for the next episode? For this one?
No.
CT's getting like heated. He starts.
Oh right, yeah. Oh, this is the iconic Brad versus CT thing and CT versus Wes thing.
I'll remember in the moment, but like I was just watching this like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, he completely goes unhinged as soon as Diem's gone. And he's not doing well with Wes's mind games because Wes is purposely just trying to fuck him up so that like this is one last elimination. Like, how can he get rid of him, right? So yeah, it's a dramatic episode for sure.
I'm excited.
And he makes another mistake. Classic.
Don't. Oh my gosh. You know when the challenge 36 is starting? Like airing?
Airing, no. I think they're about the halfway point right now, if my calculations are correct, which I mean, I'm kind of just making it up, but I think they're about halfway through. So I would imagine if they're wrapping like mid to end of October, I mean, I don't know.
Oh, we speculated New Year, but that seems long.
I think either December or January. I hope December. Like, I hope it's sort of like if they can edit it real quick.
Well, like they could be editing as they go.
True.
At least like breaking down the episodes, because like it would be nice if it was like a November start. You know what I mean?
I just feel like so much of the editing, even from the beginning, is based on what happens in the end. So they really have to like massage through all those confessionals and stuff. And I don't know. I feel like it'd be complicated, but then again, I've never edited anything in my life. So,
well, what I could imagine them do is like start breaking down like the episodes into different story chunks. So I feel like they are doing that. These guys are not working right now. So, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if they're just taking the footage and at least like putting it into like potential story arcs or whatever, you know? And
True.
then as they're learning more information, start like weaving the episodes in. And then, so just when the winner happens, they can be like, okay, we'll do like this storyline and this story arc. I feel like they have to be working on it. And I think they want to get the content out fast, sooner than later.
Agreed. I hope so. Yo, I would love a November start. Like, don't get me wrong. I think that'd be sick. And anything to like revive us before next year or the end of the world.
I'm also hoping for a Love Island, another one to happen.
Oh yeah. Side note. So I've been slowly catching up on Love Island. I'm only a few episodes behind now. The episode I watched last night was just they did this whole like strip tease, like the guys strip tease.
Oh, you're close. You're really close. Okay.
And then the angel and devil girl come in, but that's all I've seen. So the next episode I'm gonna watch is where like the girls are there. So it's been a whirlwind. I can't watch it all at once because it like really actually like sometimes makes me feel sick at how it's just a lot going on. And yeah, like obviously I love Justine and Caleb. They're obviously the best couple. And every episode I'm just like, oh no, they're just gonna ruin everything that they've just come to. So it's quite a journey emotionally speaking.
I mean, you're watching it in a challenging way, we'll say. I've been watching it as it began every day and doing a recap every day. So it's been a little bit more easy to digest. But like, I'm really impressed by, you know, how well you've been able to blow through these episodes. I think you're only 3 behind, including tonight's. And tonight's a recap anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So by tomorrow, you could easily be cut up and you can chat with me on Monday, maybe. So I'm excited to hear all of your thoughts because like we've been on a roller coaster, we'll say, with opinions about Love Island because I love Justine and Caleb. I think that they're beautiful, etc. And I appreciate that they're both willing to work on the relationship. But I personally haven't been seeing the spark between them. And that's what I usually look for. That like, you know, I'm like always looking for their kisses and like looking to see like if I see it, you know what I mean? And so yes, I find that their communication's great, obviously, but I'm kind of like, why do you need to communicate so much in the beginning? And so that's when the debate, because Brazil is super like Team Caleb, like she doesn't fluctuate between like having that sentiment. She's like definitely team.
I hadn't thought about it that way, and I kind of agree with you, but it could also be based on editing a little bit. But
something that
my question before we leave is, do you like what's your opinion on Sally and Johnny? Like, I feel like I've gone through such a roller coaster of emotions with that whole thing, and I'm just upset now. at this point, but I'm episodes behind, so I don't know where I'm at right now.
Where you're at right now?
Chat, and she found out like everything else that he did, and they talked about things, and like it seems like they're in a good place right now, but these two new girls are coming in, so I don't know. I just feel like if he fucked up that early, it's not a really good sign of like anytime in the future if they're apart. So like I don't know, but I love her for sure.
Yeah, I love Selly. I loved Selly and Johnny before Casa Amor. I was really frustrated with what he did. I wish that when he came back that he had a better way of discussing and sharing with her what went on there. He kind of brushed it off, which I think that was problematic. I didn't like the conversation that he had after when he like took her sunglasses off and was like, I want to look at you, whatever. And when she was going on that date with Benny, like I just didn't like that whole interaction. But then I also think about the fact that he's 22. And I was thinking like when I was 22, I was like freaking crazy.
He's 22?
Yeah. And like, what's the joke is that I'm like, I was 22 when my mom was my age, so he could legit be my child. And so, you know, I know that people are like saying like, oh, he's going to be a manipulator, he's going to be an abuser, and maybe that's what he will become. But this also could be a chance for him to be learning from his mistakes, because this is probably the first time he's been in this kind of scenario.
How old is she?
24. So they've only been legal drinking age for a year or two. You know what I mean? Like, and so we're kind of putting these really mature rules on a relationship that's it's pretty teenage. You know what I mean?
Oh my God. Okay. I forgot all their ages because I just know that I was like, oh, some of the girls are actually like 26, 28. Like that's not as bad as other dating shows or whatever. But the fact that he's 22, like it would make so much sense. Like he's 22 and some like other hot girl is just there on him. Like, I don't know. I mean, that makes a lot of sense to me. He looks older than that. That's creepy as fuck. I feel like a creep watching the show now.
Okay. Well, you know what? We're going to talk about Love Island today at 2. So do you want to come and like chat for a bit?
I have actually an appointment. However, I'm going to hopefully catch up tonight/tomorrow. So I'll talk to you about some, maybe I can have some thoughts.
Okay, perfect. So it was great talking about the Duel with you. I love it always. Hopefully there'll be a little more gossip for the new challenges that are starting that we can talk to you next week when we have our little chit chat. Are you working on anything that you want people to follow you at or come see you do or support you with?
Just support me through the rest of COVID. I mean, support me through the second wave. Like, just pay for me to not have to go to work, you know?
I want to take that as with like 1,000 subscribers. So I'm planning to have a special guest that will come on and we can interview and we can chat with about our favorite, you know, reality television shows. So I'm not sure what that show is going to be yet. Margo, let's see. I love Michelle's reaction to Johnny's age 22. I know. She just didn't know.
It's so troubling. It's so troubling to me.
Carrington's only 23, babe.
Who?
Carrington's 23.
Yeah, but Carrington looks like a child to me.
I agree. They're all really young, though.
Calvin looks like he's 18.
Calvin? Okay. I felt like Calvin in the striptease looked like Woody from Toy Story.
Oh my God. But he was funny. Like he had humor. Anyways, we'll talk.
I mean, maybe I should try to get Anna to like watch all of Love Island, and then like you and Anna have like your first thoughts like coming on. That'd be really funny. Like hear all of them because there's so many that you probably have.
Oh, so many.
Well, so I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by October 18th. With that, I'll have a special surprise of a little bit of a celebrity that's going to come in and chat with us about one of our favorite shows. Also, the link is going to be in the bio, but I was asked through Rob as a Podcast patron to speak for at Supermajority. And so we're going to be doing a talk, like a panel talk with me, Mari from Rob as a Podcast, Liana, and Lita Brillman. And we are going to be talking about gender in reality TV and gender and race in reality TV. And then after that, we're going to be doing a text banking session where we're going to be encouraging women to vote and women voters. And so that's going to be happening a week from today. So next Saturday, October 3rd at about 5 p.m., we're going to be starting that discussion. So the link is in there. Sign up so that you can get these texts. I'm not 100% sure how it's going to work, but know that we're going to be having a really interesting discussion with like some really smart women about gender and reality television, because I know that we probably all have a lot of opinions on how women are being portrayed in these shows, and especially women of color being portrayed in these shows. And so we definitely have an eclectic panel that's very smart with our opinions, and then we're going to be doing that to support voting for this election. So please sign up there. The link is in the bio. Tell your friends about this so we can get to 1,000 subscribers, and follow me on Instagram. Like, who cares? I don't know. At Champion. Words, Michelle, anything else to say?
No, I'm looking. I think we're going to be near the end of the season. The next like 2, maybe we should just do the full end for the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for what's to come. And at least, you know, we got Love Island to get us through.
I mean, Love Island's done on Wednesday, babe. So
it's done?
Yeah, that's what I'm like, catch up already. Like, hurry up.
Oh, it just kind of ends eventually? Oh, and then they vote for the best couple.
So what's that still needs to happen, you know, typical things that have happened. I don't know if it all will happen this season, but they usually get like babies that they had to pretend to like take care of as a couple. You know, little fake, you know, babies that they have to like make sure that they don't cry and all that stuff. And then they also should be having, sometimes they have a lie detector that happens, and so you know the couples get to ask questions that they really have wanted to ask. They usually still get a parent that, or their parents usually come to the villa to visit them, but I believe this time we're going to be doing Zoom calls with the parents, and so people will get maybe some outside influence as to what's been going on the outside. So I'm curious to see what Sally and Johnny's family are going to do in this moment. You know, whether they're going to be supportive or they're going to give some truths. They also might be hoping for them to win, so maybe they won't give truths. I'm not sure. And then they usually have like an epic date. So they have like, you know, they go on a super yacht, or they go on like, you know, really romantic something. When it's like they leave the villa usually and go on a grandiose date. And so those are things that still have to happen, but pretty much one every day is going to be, you know, one of those things.
I'm dead that you just are casually throwing in, oh, they have to take care of a baby. Like, these people are like just out of the womb, like so young, and you're being like, yeah, like, but how would you have a baby together? Like, this is going to show that your 22-year-old relationship is good. Anyway, wow, that's a whirlwind. Okay, I'm going to get on this then.
Get on it. We have a few days left.
Okay, perfect.
All right. Love you guys. Thanks for chatting with us today. We will talk to you at 2 if you want to join us. Actually, it might be a little bit later. We'll say 2:30. Or definitely between 2 and 4, we'll talk about Love Island USA episode 30. So thanks for talking about the challenge with us. We will see you oh my God, I can't talk. I think I'm tired. With the rest of the season, unless there's like 10 episodes left that we just forgot. So we'll see you then. Cheers, y'all. Bye.